Hello, everybody, and welcome along to Season 5 of IRC Tier 2 Racing. This is the first race of the season at Albert Park, Melbourne, kicking off the season with our Tier 2 drivers. A lot of changes in the grid. We'll run through them. This is me, BlackSheep, with the intro. I'm joined by Gryphus, Chief Legend of the Indian racing community, our Chief Technical Man. He likes to call himself No More Pro Player, but I'm definitely sure I don't agree with that name. We will also shortly be joined by Couple. So that's the commentary team you have today. We're going to run through the grid order, and we'll also have qualifying beginning shortly. Firstly, welcome along, Dipanshu. Welcome along, Gryphus. How are we doing?
Wow, welcome for the race. Really packed up. I mean, yesterday we had an amazing Tier 1 race. We raced in that, and that was an amazing race. And looking forward to this one because these are like prospective people who want to be as fast as the Tier 1 guys. And it's going to be amazing because this is completely new grid order, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they finish.
I just knew that you couldn't wait to mention the Tier 1 race yesterday, given how you performed. I was hoping we'll come to that a bit later, but yeah. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Not much. I mean, like it was an amazing race, but yeah, we'll just head over. We'll do one thing. We'll just quickly head over to the hot lap for Albert Park. We did show that yesterday, but yeah, we'll do that again.
This is going to be Third World Prophet commentating over a hot lap across the Melbourne Park circuit, which is, I think, hot lap is by
Season 5 is underway with the first ever hot lap presentation as we go around the Albert Park circuit with our very own Marinello baby showing you exactly how it is. You set a blistering pace around this track. Now approaching the chickens of 1 and 2, hugging the left hand side of the track, going down to 5th gear as you navigate these curves quite gently, smooth on the throttle on exit. Now while the track is slightly aligned to the left, you make sure you keep your steering wheel straight till just before this hard braking zone. Now you don't take too much curb on entry, or at least you don't throttle too hard on the curb on entry, because what then happens is your car violently oversteers like it just did. Marinello having to flick his steering wheel back. Now through the chicanes of 6 and 7, taking as much curb on the exit, hugging the right hand side as you go through 8, keeping the gear steadily onto 7th, braking here and going down the gears as you navigate quite gently through this section, because the next fast left and right hander will be dictated by how much speed you can take through this section. Approaching the left hander, going down to 7th gear only, making sure you're smooth on the throttle, because if you're not, you'll have those oversteer moments. Marinello navigating it quite well again, braking just hard just before 13, taking apex on exit, getting the car back onto the track. Now same on the apex here, making sure you don't take too much apex on the entry of right, because that is a very slippery apex. Now through 15 and 16, the exit of 16 can be quite precarious because you've got to make sure that you have the best gear so that you can throttle hard and not go wide on that section, as Marinello shows us exactly how to set a blistering pace around this track.
Great commentary there by TWP, and again, great lap by Marinello baby. Thanks both of you guys. Just take a moment out to welcome all the viewers here. This is a new season for Tier 2. I'm sure everybody's looking forward to it. I can say at my end, it's nice and sunny and pleasant down here. I hope the weather is pleasant where you are too, but we'll jump into qualifying shortly, and we'll see how the weather at Albert Park is. Are we ready for that, Dipanshu?
Right now, the lobby is getting ready up. Till then, why don't you guys talk about the strategy that you guys are expecting for today's race?
Yeah, I mean, mostly for the most part, it's gonna be a one-stopper. But yeah, like the safety car might flip things over. Yesterday we did see in the Tier 1 race that people were aiming for one-stop race, but then the safety car made everyone pit again. So it was two stoppers for the most part. Some of them even went for the three-stopper. But yeah, it's going to be interesting depending on number of safety cars we have. About regarding the tires, BlackSheep, can you give more insight?
Tires, I think, in terms of strategy, you're best suited to start on the softs and then move on to the hards, if I'm not wrong. Would you agree with that, Gryphus?
Yeah, that would probably be the best strategy if you're starting in top 10. Not sure about like if you're starting out of top 10, you might go for hards and then mediums, or hards and then softs, if that suits you. But for the most part, I mean, most of the people will go for, one stopper.
Yeah, Albert Park is known to be a circuit that doesn't really have a lot of on-track overtaking action, although I'm pretty sure Tier 2 boys are going to prove that wrong. But irrespective of that, if you find people qualifying on the softs, then it kind of forces you into getting high up the order and then keeping track position at the race start. So everybody sort of gets boxed into starting on the softs. Some of the people will from there on move on to a medium and then softs once again. But mostly if you want to do a one-stop, it has to be a softs to hards. I think it's I'm not quite sure how many laps we did yesterday. I know it was only yesterday, but I think my memory's failing me already. Gryphus, how many laps do we have around here?
29.
29, okay.
Yep.
So I guess it's around about 11 or 12 laps on the softs, is it? Or around about 10 laps and move on to the hards?
Yeah, true that. If like depends on how if you're starting in top 10 depends on how well you did the qualifying on, because if you like overdid the and if you overdo the soft tires in qualifying, that might restrict your soft run for like 8 or 9 laps. But you can take it to 10 or 11, right? Depending on where you are at that point of the race.
And obviously, as you mentioned earlier, if you're not starting in the top 10, you might want to start on the mediums or even the hards. We're getting a weather forecast, as you can see here. It's all clear and sunny at Albert Park, a clear qualifying session and a clear race session as well.
I don't believe that a lot of people will be happy with that. Not for the viewers, but yeah, for the drivers. They wouldn't want to race in wets, right? Or in Albert Park.
I'm sure there might be a couple. I always tend to like racing in the rain. It just throws up interesting outcomes. Because there's half a chance that you might undercut somebody or overcut somebody depending on when the weather is changing. But for now, we know it's clear for qualifying, clear for racing. We're waiting for the drivers to head out. And I wouldn't be surprised if people start to put in some banking laps maybe on the medium tires. Let's remind the viewers here, unlike the last game, you can't do any qualifying runs on the harder tire. The game only gives you the option to either run the soft or the medium. So you will find people either on the softs or maybe the odd one here and there starting on the mediums, trying to do some banking laps to see whether they are placed against the others.
While we start with the qualifying, let's just go through the whole team, because it's a new grid. Not many viewers will be now aware of informed about the teams. So we'll just start with Mercedes, because I'm in Tier 1 Mercedes and I would like to start from there. And we have Electrip and Abapan. If you guys followed us for the last season 4 of Tier 2, Abapan finished a very, very brilliant P6 there. What do you think?
Yeah, Abapan was one of the drivers who, towards the end of the season, really had the pace coming for him. A lot of occasions where he was fighting up front for the lead.
Yep. Talking about his teammate Electrip right there. Electrip just recently got a Fanatic wheel. He just upgraded from G27. So let's see. I mean, this is his first league race after having that wheel, and we know that he can perform well. He's not been very consistent last season, but for sure he's out there. Like, he's practiced a lot at this circuit.
Yeah, I've raced with Electrip quite regularly on the new game in unranked sessions, and I've seen how his pace has improved over the time, especially after he's purchased the new wheel that he has. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where he ends up, or how he's on the pace compared to his teammate.
Yeah. Let's talk about the driver we are spectating right now. We'll talk about the racing points of Rebel and the Red Devil. Do you have any idea about the pace? Because these are like very, very new members to IRC, and they have just made their way through Tier 2 with their consistency in unranked sessions with us. So what do you think? Where will they slot in?
To be very honest, I haven't really had the opportunity or the privilege to race against both of them regularly. I think I've raced against them only a few times. I have noted that they are up there on the pace. I mean, they're not going to give up a position easily. They're going to fight. We already have a retirement there. Sorry, I just noticed Vinay. Did we know Dipanshu exactly what happened with him?
It seemed like he lost it in the kink there, and we can see as the Ferrari passes by Haas parked on the left side.
I'm guessing was he on a hot lap, or was that an out lap?
He was on a hot lap at the moment, but he lost it, I think, on the kink. So probably that
Yeah,
cost
it's the
him.
kink of turn 5, I think, in sector 2. It really catches you off guard. I remember watching the stream from the Tier 1 race yesterday with TWP mentioning how you've got to stay off those curbs because they can throw you off. We're on board right now with Ubi17, who's just gone through the fast chicane at turn 11 and 12. Again, those curbs can really throw the car out if you're not very careful. It's also a place on the track where we see a lot of retirements, a lot of drivers losing out on traction on the exit, finding the gravel or the grass. I think there was an out lap he was on, just about to start his hot lap.
We do so B17 is one more person we can talk about. We have Ferrari. We have a good Ferrari team right now. B17 and Harry Rocks 24. B17, as we know, helped Renault to win the constructors in Tier 2 last season in the final race. He finished on podium. He needed that place to secure it along with Chris By. And who was the other person?
Was it Anirudh, I think?
Yes, that was Anirudh. So we
Yeah, I
know
was
we know
commentating.
Yeah.
I was commentating on that race, and what a thriller that was. Right at the end, when they closed the gap, it was also a drag race between Tanish and Anirudh, I think, over the line, with Tanish simply losing out on penalties.
Yeah, that was definitely a picture perfect ending of the season, and we know Abhi 17 and Harry Rocks are a very very good strong pair up to give a fight up there. To the other boys. Talking about the front runners. We have likes of Alpha Tauri this season, Red Bull. So Altair. We know about Altair, BlackSheep.
Yeah, Altair seems to have a lot of fans. He's always had a lot of fans in the online stream. We definitely look forward to a lot of those guys making their opinions heard in the live chat that we have going on.
His teammate is Thermo, who struggled a lot last season in Tier 2, but let's see. I mean, depends on how the grid spans across. Because even last season we had a lot of Tier 2 drivers who have moved into Tier 1 now. So maybe he'll get like battles with people who are comparable to him, because he's very very new to F1 games.
Yeah, sure. You're right. Fivezan just going slightly wide there. The last corner, starting his lap. But we talking about Altair there. He's got the provisional lap at the moment here. Just got to move on to the lap times because we've had about 9 drivers put in their runs. Altair leading the pack with a 121.7. What are your thoughts on the pace that you have right now?
I mean, did we expect anything else from Altair? Can we just see on what tire they put that times on? Because I believe Vortex has put his times on medium tires and not softs. So that would be really helpful to see on which tires they have put their fastest lap times on. Talking about one more team which might be a contender to the constructors and maybe even possibly even driver championship is McLaren. The combination of Faizan and Rambo. I believe we don't have Rambo with us in the session. He marked his attendance. He did not mark his attendance. But Faizan and Rambo, what a pair.
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Welcome, couple.
Oh, thanks for having me. Can I interject the stream for a moment? Memo Pro player, the stream is quite laggy. People are complaining of it. Could you possibly restart the stream?
Gryphus, in fact, Dipanshu yourself, we were all in the Tier 1 race yesterday, Australia. How do you see the Tier 2 race panning out? Where do you think qualifying times are likely to end up at? What sort of strategies do you guys think these drivers are going to take How many safety cars, I guess. Let's make our predictions.
I feel that generally most of these people will be going for a two-stopper rather than a single stopper, because yesterday it was a bit difficult, but then people have to also take care of it being like the possibility of safety car, because that is one thing that really hurt my race yesterday. I pitted just before the VSC came out, so I could not get that free pit stop which most of the front runners got. So yeah, there is a lot of factor that people have to take in account.
For sure. Like as I mentioned before, before the same time you might go for a two stopper with soft, medium, soft, or maybe even like as I said, soft to hards. Depends on the number of safety cars that we might have. Again, as I said, I mean I've already said that. So Kapil, what are your thoughts about the strategies?
It's going to be really interesting because, well, nothing to take away from this pack, but the half the lobby is new to IRC, and I'm just a little. I'm feeling a little sadistic today. I want some action. So a safety car probably halfway through the race or even before then would really spice things up, in my opinion. So I am expecting a two-stop purely because of some incident that might take place.
Well, the drivers so far certainly not expecting that, unless I'm mistaken somehow. We only have Ghost in the Racing Point on the mediums, just moving down out of the top 10. As I predicted, I think everybody here will be boxed into doing that, soft quali run, starting on the softs and maybe taking it to a one-stop, and perhaps, if you are very punchy, turning that into a two-stop. A couple of things I'd like to mention for the benefit of our viewers here today who are new to the IRC League racing and are joining us for the Tier 2 race for the first time. The F1 2020 game so far has been rather strict and harsh on track limits, so I think drivers here are also going to be getting used to track limits and especially how the car behaves when you drive it with a full fuel load and 50% race distance, as is the norm in league racing. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to. We certainly saw yesterday penalties just coming up, churning out left, right, and center throughout, and that was a Tier 1 race. I'm not really expecting any less today.
Talking about the qualifying which is going on right now, Altair has a very good time. Let's see the gaps, let's see the gaps between top 10 and everyone's on like high 121s, and wow, Vortex comes with a 121.038. What a lap!
Yeah, 21-0. I do suspect that Altair's first lap was just a trial sort of run, because I noticed that he's just put on the medium tires. He's on an out lap.
That is like around 7/10 faster than Altair. Let's see who can give competition. There's 5 minutes to go for qualifying, and looking good for Ferrari. I mean, they have P5 and P7. Even Renault, we'll have to see. Like some of the people haven't put any times yet. Like P15 through P19 haven't put any times yet. So what do you think? Like, is it good at a track like at a track like Albert Park, where you just stay in your garage for the whole duration and then just go out for one lap?
That's not something I certainly can pull off. It's a track where, at least for me, it requires me to do as many quali runs as possible as I can do to just get into the flow of things. It's a very high-speed circuit, but again, the entry and exit of every corner, where you take the curb and how much, especially with the track limits this time around, it takes quite a while to evolve your qualifying lap over time. For me, especially. But okay, I don't underestimate these guys.
At a track where traffic is a huge problem, you wouldn't want to risk it with just one lap, at the end. So you would want to, at least do. Is there a Mercedes at last corner? I think I saw Mercedes spun out at the last corner. Let's see.
Yeah, they're talking about traffic. There does seem to be a lot of traffic piling up now. I think there's only 3 cars in the pits. There's only about 4 to 5 minutes to go, 4 minutes to go. So I believe this will be last runs for pretty much everybody. The Mercedes you mentioned, yes, that's Electric. Currently P6. coming back into the pits. It probably might just have an opportunity to go back out once again for his final run.
I was saying that the Mercedes or Burpan just put on a lap, third fastest till now, but he's on 2-lap-old softs. Wouldn't that hurt his tires much? He's coming into the pits now, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we go back out once again. We were talking about Altair. He's the only one in the top 14 actually, still on the mediums, and I do think he's on a hot lap at the moment. Dipanshu, can we follow him? See how he's getting along. He has spun out.
Amazing
Altair,
time
yes.
there.
Yeah, I didn't want to jinx it, but if he's got enough fuel in there, which I think he may do, so he might just want to carry on and redo the lap. Yeah, he seems to be heating up the tires once again to restart that lap. But he was doing a personal best in the first sector.
But that, like, I see Faizan still in the pits. What's the strategy for him? Because now only 2 minutes are left, and I'm not sure if he's out on track, but for sure he has to get that one lap right.
Yeah, we've still got 2 drivers who haven't set in a time yet. Very surprised. Ghost is on 4-lap all mediums. I mean, you'd think that the medium advantage would kind of wear off if you're using them for 4 laps.
Sadly, he's run out of fuel too, and that's the end of his qualifying. He's not going to be qualifying on softs.
Well, he's out of the top 10, so he will still get a free choice of tyres anyway.
Monk
In the
is
meantime,
on hot lap. So is Altair.
yeah, this time around, Altair is sadly not getting a personal best in the first sector. It does look like most of the guys are going to be starting on the softs, but I guess what's going to keep our interest peaked during the race is when they pit and how strategies pan out, and especially more than anything if there's any incidents and if we do see a safety car.
Yeah, but I do see multiple safety car, multiple yellow flags in sector 1, sector 3, was it? Yeah, that's sector 3, at the start of sector 3, so people are slowing down to let people go on hot laps. I mean, it's a track where, it's very difficult, when you're on an out lap or an in lap, it's very difficult to let people through who are on hot lap because you might hinder their racing line, and the only way to avoid them is to go off track, which might hurt your tires. So yeah, that's like, it's a very difficult place to let people go, even during the race when you're getting lapped.
Sure, of course, very rightly said. We're on board with Mountain at the moment, just coming around to finish his lap. He's jumped up from P11 to P7, a 122, I think 122.2 there, not bad.
That was a decent lap to bring that car up to P7. I think he was out of top P10 at that time. As we say that, yeah, we don't have much time to go. In qualifying, it's about to end in a bit. We do spectate. Don is on an out lap. He's going to start a lap now. He has around 20 seconds to go. So he starts his hot lap. Full DRS, ERS is at hot lap, and let's see how it goes.
Yeah, staying on board with Dawn, we're coming up to turn 3, end of the second DRS straight, heavy braking zone, down to third or second gear mostly for most of the drivers. We've switched over to Agent 47, I think. But yeah, just exiting onto the end of the second sector, turn 5. This is the crucial kink of turn 5 that throws up the cars in all sorts of weird directions if you're not careful. Well clear of the curb there, which is prudent, I think. That curb has been, the outside corner of that curve, very strict in this game, invalidates your lap. I've just noticed Vortex going even quicker. We're now into the 120s, 120.7. So a very commanding P1 provisional pull by Vortex so far. Just to come back to Altair in the meantime, he was out in the mediums. He has abandoned his run, so he will be starting on the softs with a 121.7. Don, in the meanwhile, running up to the final 3 or 4 sets of corners. He's currently on a 123.3. He's been doing personal best, come around to the final chicane, getting the best possible exit to slingshot your car down. Misses the apex slightly there, doesn't take much of that curb on the outside. fearing the penalty, but P13 only improves by 1 position. Still starting outside the top 10.
While we were on board Dawn, I saw that he did not use much of his ERS. You can see only 70 or 60% was still left, right? So do you think we can use more ERS on one single lap than that, or is there a limit?
The ERS level, I think, is set for, I mean, if you maximize the usage of it, as in if you use all of it throughout the lap, you might finish the lap with just about enough ERS left. So I think it's just about enough to carry on for one lap, which is why I think I'm slightly surprised as to why he only got on to about 70% of it on that lap. I mean, he may perhaps be wanting to stay out of the top 10 to get a free choice attire, but that could be a theory that I'm probably reading.
47. Meanwhile, Vortex's teammate just improved to P11 with that time. P11 is a very crucial position to start in general, right? In Formula One, because out of like top 10, you have the free. As I say that he punts the back of Harry Rocks. Not sure. I mean,
that would have been the game AI. They both passed the checkered flag.
Yeah, Codemasters never fails to bring this, and I am not sure what I'm looking at. But talking about that, P11 is actually a very interesting position to start because you get a free choice of tires to start with, new set of tires, right? So that is actually a bit of slight advantage over the P10, the guy starting at P10. What do you think? What Agent 47 might look at at this, like starting P11? What strategy he should opt for?
I really cannot guess, in all honesty. This is a track where anything can happen and all sorts of strategies can be played. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes on to the harder tyre. Then you might think that expecting safety car on an incident in the first 6 or 7 laps could give you a free pit stop anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised if he also, on the other hand, stays on the softer tyre. I wanted to touch up slightly upon a few drivers who were in Tier 1 last season because I've noticed Charles Leclerc up in P2. He was with us in Tier 1 last season. Running down the order, we've got Vortex P1 with a fabulous 120.7, almost 8/10 up above Charles Leclerc, a Bourbon, followed by Altair. Sadly, couldn't finish his run on the mediums. Captain Cheesecake, Mountain, Harry Rocks, Electrip, the Red Devil, and P17 running up the top 10. Everybody under that. Vinay was the only retirement. Faizan not setting a lap time.
Not really sure why Faizan would choose not to set a lap time. Even if you wanted to start on newer sets of tires, you might strategize your fastest lap to be somewhere between P10 and P20. Not sure what happened there.
He unfortunately invalidated all of his laps.
Oh, thanks for that, couple.
And now, as we wait for the people to get their strategy right, let's see what we can talk about.
Yeah, we're going to have about a minute of time before the clock and the countdown begins, before drivers start to ready up. This is just to set their strategy right.
Yeah. One thing that could very well happen that we did observe yesterday is the guy at P1 getting a fabulous start, probably because of the game itself. Yesterday we noticed Manal Baby getting a stonking start, and
So let me fill you in on why that was. The glitch in the game, also for our viewers, is the host. The lights for the host go off a little while before the lights for everybody else go out. So once again, Gryphus, the game providing us all the entertainment that we need.
I think the host is Faizan for this race, I believe.
I would be looking forward to seeing a stonker of a start from him down in P19.
Interesting, and let's see. I mean, Vortex almost like more than half a second of P2 guy, of Charles Leclerc. Almost 8/10 like faster than him on the fastest lap. So, but it all comes down to race pace, right?
Race pace, and crucially for Charles Leclerc, he's got the inside line coming up to the first corner. You can see him behind the Red Bull of Vortex P2. We're on board for the formation lap, where drivers are going to be getting the optimum tire temperatures. And this game, an evolution from the last one, also sees tire degradation on your tires during the formation lap as well. So crucial for drivers to take care of the tires, but also make sure that they're in the optimum temperature windows to get the best possible starts. Talking about the tires once again, top 10, as we know, are all on soft tires. I'm not sure what tires others have chosen beyond top 10. I'm not sure if you can get that graphic up, Dipanshu. Yeah, so you can see P13, 14, 15 from Dawn to Ghost, and then 5zan on the mediums. Vinay, who sadly wasn't able to complete a run during his qualifying, crashed out during his first out lap. Starting on the hards, that could be interesting.
Is like deep into the race, right around those hards might actually take him to lap 20 or even more than that. I do believe it can go to lap 20, 21 easily.
Yeah, very interesting. Agent 47 in P11 and Soham Day P12, still opting to stay on the soft. So as I predicted, strategies going all over the place.
For I see, when Agent 47 and Soham Day are going for soft tires, they might be looking to get a good start, and Dawn, on the other hand, might be looking to go again like deep into the race with those medium tires, getting some clear air after a while, because he knows now that washing powder behind him is starting on mediums as well. So, I don't think that it's much of a threat for him. As I say that, these are the strategies, our telemetry team has put up. We have been discussing the similar strategies till now. People are, yeah.
No, I was just going to say, Gryphus, a couple of drivers coming into contact with each other, being disqualified off the formation lap and thrown back onto the grid. We see some of the front runners coming back onto the grid rather quickly, whilst we wait for the rest of the grid to form up. But maybe that might cool down the tires. Usually we see drivers just holding the field back a little bit so that they can weave around and get the temperatures right. But everybody seems to be back on the grid now. We're waiting for the 5 lights to go out. There should be a little bit of pause, and we are underway. Vortex gets a great start, and so does Charles Leclerc, actually. Vortex staying on the outside, turns into P1. I think we had a little bit of a lag there. Did we not? No,
This is now P7 now. Red Devil retired from the race. I don't know what incident happened back there. Even above one.
Yeah, we're already seeing a lot of contact and one retirement already. Can't really get a view of the field. Stop and go penalty for Mountain. Perhaps.
Yeah.
So that was quick. Safety car after one turn. Fantastic.
Yeah. This has been a rather eventful start to the race. Stop and go. Guys, do you guys know what the game gives a stop and go penalty for?
Overtaking under the safety car.
Oh, that's stop and go.
I thought say stop and go would have been for jump start, but I don't think for jump start it's a stop and go.
No, I think it's a drive-through for jump start. I also thought infringements on the safety car would have been a drive-through as well. Stop and go is a rarity. I've hardly ever seen a stop and go penalty. The maximum form of penalty here.
Also, if you guys would have noticed that 5zan is already in P8.
Yep. As we knew, the glitch of the game came well into his hands. So a couple of days ago, that's what happens to the host. The lights go out quicker for the host compared to everybody else.
Engaged.
He was probably aware of that, watching the stream yesterday from the Tier 1 race. No wonder he didn't set a lap time.
A bunch of cars pitting right now, trying to get off their soft tires. It's a good thing to make use of, because the mediums are less susceptible to tire wear and tire temps are more manageable. So they could probably just let go of a position or two, but be more safe as the race goes on with those more durable medium tires.
Yeah, we've got about 4 or 5 guys already in the pit lanes. Surprisingly, Soham Day, who had a free choice of tyres, elected to start on the softs, but is now choosing to pit and is coming out on the hards in P14. He could have stayed P12 on the hards at the start of the race on the hards.
Safety car would have definitely in that case, because I believe that safety car is mostly for those people who are starting in top 10, because everyone else is anyway starting on the newer compound of tires.
No, but that's what I was surprised by. Soham Day was outside the top 10. He chose to start on the softs and then pit to the lap later for the hards.
We have a stop and go for Monk as well. So many people, almost 3 drivers are stop and go now. That will shake up the grid.
Right. So I've just been given word that those penalties that are being dished out are for collision under safety car, and it's just a 5-second time penalty.
I see. Okay, so stream team probably buckle up a little bit. Get that correct. Dipanshu here,
Yep.
not just the pro player but the pro streamer, and the pro CEO of technology at IRC. And thank you to him and his team and everybody who's worked so hard on these amazing graphics that you guys see.
It's still in a work in progress, so we keep adding features.
As we can see.
Yep. Yep.
I'm sure we'll get there.
Yep.
So we understand the stop and goes are not exactly stop and goes. The game usually gives a 5-second time penalty for contact under the safety car.
Yep. Meanwhile, I think washing powder did have a wing damage because of he collided with Monk, so he's probably going in for a wing change as well as a tire change for good measures.
On in P6 on medium tires. What do you expect? Because everyone else around him is on soft tires.
That has to be one of the biggest gains I've seen on one lap or 2 laps in the first 2 laps of the race. P19 to P6, that's 13 positions up in 2 laps. And he's the only person in the top 10, I think, on the mediums. So he can easily pull off a mediums to even softs if he's able to manage these tires, given that we're going to probably see another couple of laps on the safety car, so it's going to be around about lap 5 or 6 onwards, 24 or 23 laps of racing. Do you think he can pull that off?
I believe he can pull that off quite easily. Because you have a very fresh sets of mediums, and these guys on soft tires, provided that the race starts at lap 5 or 4, I believe. So the people on softs might take it to around lap 15 at max. If they can just because anyway, they are on the qualifying tires, I believe. So yeah, they might want to pit around lap 14, 15, but Faizan can take it deep into the race, right? And then he can shift back to soft tires when these guys go on hard or even medium. I believe they'll go on mediums now.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to how that pans out. So Faizan is likely to stay on the mediums. We know overtaking is not the easiest on this circuit. He might be able to, if he can just about hold position and then pit at the right time and jump onto the softs, he might be placed very well for a great finish towards the end, whilst everybody else is on older hard tires.
I on him. I believe by the end of the race it will be Vortex, Charles Leclerc, and Faizan, bunching up together by the end of the race. As we see that 5 seconds time penalty for Dawn as well. So people are getting penalties left, right, and center.
Yeah, surprisingly, a lot of contact between safety car.
We have resumed the race after safety car.
Yeah, we just see Faizan, everything that he had probably planned slightly being undone there, getting some wing damage at the back of Agent 47. Still able to hold position, trying to dive down at turn 3 on Agent 47, but probably not able to get the turn in correctly due to the wing damage he sustained. Up front, the field is still rather close. We've got Vortex followed by Charles Leclerc and then Barpan in P1, 2 and 3, very close to each other. We've got another 2 laps until DRS is enabled, so keep an eye out on that.
Faizan is going to just manage to hold back Mountain and Monk on faster tires. I'm not sure if he'll be able to catch Captain Cheesecake in this situation. We'll have to wait for that. But Mountain, knowing that Faizan is on medium tires, will try to push, use overtake, use his ERS mode of overtake, and try to use the rich fuel mix just to get past him for now. I don't think they see a danger. Electrip at P11 at P11 right now has a huge he's a huge bunch of drivers right in front of him. He might be expecting someone to take some incident to happen so that he can gain advantage out of that. Someday right behind Electric. Yeah, BlackSheep.
I just noticed, not very surprisingly, Faizan had to pit, so everything that he had worked on, followed after he got lucky with the glitch of the game, everything being undone, he's back into the pits. I think he's on a set of soft tires now. Yeah, so I guess he's choosing to go soft to mediums now instead of the mediums to softs. So yeah, back at back at the back of the grid. Faizan, P17. Only followed by Dawn, I think. I think Dawn had some damage as well. He's way behind, 13 odd seconds behind. Behind Faizan, sorry.
Mountain locks up right there. He's looking feisty. Looking forward to that. Rebel takes an inside line to overtake. That's not the best place to overtake, so let's see how it goes. Takes the inside line. Mountain will have the outside line on the next. Oh, so I think Mountain would have cut that corner and would have received a penalty of some sort. Electric. What just happened there?
A very, very committed dive down from Electrip. I don't know exactly why he thought it was the best place to try and make a move. Yeah, Rebel being committed onto the turn 11-12 chicane there. Not very surprisingly, we have a safety car out. One Mercedes already out. Sadly, I was looking forward to seeing where Electric would end up. But yeah, just gets taken out. Squeezed between Rebel and the wall.
I feel that.
Go ahead, Dipanshu.
Yeah, I feel that since the two cars in front of him were having a battle and they were going really slow through the fast chicane, Electric got a bit greedy, thinking that he can take two cars at once. So he tried to put in the nose, but then because of two cars fighting, it would have been 3 wide, and that did not happen.
Yeah, it's just the nature of the circuit. I think you have to be really measured in when you make a move. It's not the easiest track to overtake on, especially when you've got two cars ahead of you fighting and jostling for positions, especially when you see them going side by side through the chicane of turn 11 and 12. I'd probably be tempted to just slightly hold back a little bit, see how that pans out.
It would be a very, very risky move to make at that chicane. Like the idealistic place to even think to make a move here is maybe turn 3, is it? So turn 2 and 3 going there, so that the DRS zone. And maybe the start finish straight, but that would be risky again. So these are the idealistic place. But talking about that, we are in lap 6 now, and we have already had 2 safety cars now. So our predictions and all the strategies are going left and right.
Yeah, the second safety car over 3 laps. I'm watching a Burpen, trying to being very close to the back of Charles Leclerc there, and given how penalties have been dished out so far, is that the leader going wide? Is that Vortex just losing positions out?
It is indeed.
Positions out. I'm genuinely surprised. I don't know what to say. I'm slightly speechless at how things are going under safety car conditions here. Number of penalties being dished out, people losing positions, just simply going off the track on the safety car. One thing I have noticed, Harry Rocks before this safety car was P4, and I think he pitted just at the right time on the hard tires. So he might be looking to go towards the end of the race. I'm not sure where the front runners are going to come out, the likes of Vortex, Abarpan and so on.
Yeah, I mean, if the safety cars go still, suppose lap 8 or lap 9, you can take those hard tires till the end of the race now. You don't need to pit again.
Yeah, I did see Abarpan, Vortex, etc. and Charles Leclerc, who just pitted. They've all come out P12, P14 and P15. Whereas Harry Rocks had pitted the lap earlier, I think, or just at the right time. He was in P4 and now running P7, so he could just go to the end of the race. Washing Powder is just ahead of him on 4 lap old hards. He could stretch them all the way to the end, just like Soham Day. He's not pitted yet. So Soham Day, no, I think he has pitted, so I'm not sure if the likes of Washing Powder and Soham Day can stretch the tyres out, but Harry Rocks certainly is in a position, if he can just keep himself clean, out of trouble, he can just get himself to the end of the race without any more pit stops. It hasn't played well for the front runners, sadly. Vortex going off the track there, losing out on 14 positions.
Yeah, front runners wouldn't have expected another safety car so soon, but it did come now, and I think Agent 47 and Harry Rocks are in a very good place to take this fight with Vortex when they come, when they fight their way through the field.
I guess tier 2 boys really don't have a sense of how to keep distance and pace during safety cars, because there have been almost 3 times as many collisions under safety car than under normal racing conditions.
Let's cut them some slack, couple. Let's cut them some slack.
I'm sorry, but come on, just take it easy. You don't have to be on the bumper every single second.
We all agree. We all agree. That's fine. We all learn.
Fair enough.
I've had my own share of instances. I mean, my teammate was a bit greedy yesterday on the safety car. We knew how that ended.
Fantastically, of course.
Yeah, I'm glad to see a Racing Point leading the race at this point. So, as long as that's the case, yeah, I'm happy with that.
Just to tell the viewers, Black Sheep's teammate in Tier 1 in Racing Point is Tanesh, who is the driver championship from last season of Tier 2, and he is up, promoted to Tier 1 now, and yeah, fighting with Black Sheep.
Do you guys notice Vortex back into pits? I think he's had another bit of contact and lost his swing, and now he's decided to jump on the mediums. He's dead last for the field. I mean, imagine going from P1 to being last in the field in the space of one lap.
I don't know, it could be a strategic masterpiece. So just hold on.
Couple would know because
I don't see
he
how.
is
I
also in
genuinely do
Red
not
Bull.
see how.
Let's just wait and watch. There might be a master plan at the end of all this.
I'm not expecting.
Couple, would
I'm
you
not
like to
expecting
unveil
it.
some of those Red Bull master plans?
Well, I've given you
considering-
enough incentive to stay
Good point
tuned.
there. Profi, good point there. This is the Red Bull of Vortex, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not surprised why Couple is biased.
No, I'm not biased. I'm opportunistic. Not opportunistic. I'm optimistic on his comeback, and I know that.
Tell me honestly, do you think mediums will last for another 21 laps?
Well, looking back to yesterday's race, the softs, the KC66, my teammate, made an amazing charge with the softs. We pushed it all the way to 14 laps, and so there's no denying that the mediums can go even longer than that. Like, how many laps are left? 21. I guess that it very well can. If you can look after them, why not? It's worth a shot.
We are
Somehow
resuming
get the
racing.
feeling that they will not be looked after. You're right, Profi. Safety car has, I think it has come to the bits. Yes, it has. Soham Day staying very well behind, very well close to Rebel there, going slightly wide at the exit of turn 1, but still holding positions. Abhi is mounting a charge down to turn 3. This is one of the locations where a lot of people dive in or somehow even take the longer route around the outside, because that gives you a fantastic run up inside of turn 4. But still, everybody, the top 3 at least, holding positions. So Dave, just to remind everybody, is on the harder tyre, whilst Rebel and Abhi are on the medium. So a pair of them, Rebel and Abhi, guessing we'll definitely have to pit once again. There's a lot of jostling for positions going on. Charles Leclerc started in P2, is down in where are we? P10? Or is it I'm slightly losing track, guys. Help me out. Yeah, P9, sorry. We're on board with Furman folk there.
So Captain Cheesecake completely dropped off the field. Vortex and Dawn and Vinay are making a jostling for position. Okay, looks like Agent 47 is out of the race. That's unfortunate for the Red Bull team.
That's another retirement. Sorry for your loss. And another safety car. So we have 3 safety cars with 9 laps into the race. And judging by the fact that the safety car usually is around 3 to 4 laps, I would say we've had about 1 lap of racing so far. Is that right?
2 laps to be precise, but now looking at how many cars going in, Vortex is going to have a better opportunity to make use of those medium tires, because there's going to be at least 3 more laps. So don't count him out of the picture yet. Having said that, people who pitted, everyone from 10th position, they're all going onto the hard tires, because this is the pit window for the one-stop strategy from softs to hards. The hards can definitely go 20 laps. The big
Well, they
losers.
certainly can. Yeah, sorry, Hards certainly can. Harry Rock's coming back up to positions, climbing back up the orders. He had pitted for the Hards during the last safety car. He's got the tyres to last the entirety of the race. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't pit at all. Mountain pretty much in the same position, P3, P4. So I would say the guys to look out for, watch out for. Unless, again, if there are further safety cars.
But having
I
said
think. Yeah. Go ahead, Kapil.
having said that, Volvo takes pits again and goes back onto the hard tires. People who did pit are up 17 and Captain Cheesecake. Captain Cheesecake had a lot of damage in the safety car restart, so he did drop down the field because of the damage that he incurred there.
I'm not sure if Volvotex is just having a bad day or if he's just being indecisive with what he's doing. He's probably had about three stops so far, out of which 2 have been over the last 2 laps.
Very interesting.
Yep. And having said that, Faizan's now back at the bottom of the field again, right where he started. I think it's the odd number of safety cars that's got him down the field again. It's unfortunate, but yeah, what can you say? Hardly been any racing so far, but just so many pit stops.
Yeah, I do think it plays well into the hands of the guys who pitted for the Hards during the first safety car because they don't really have to pit again. I mean, their tyres can last over 19, 20 laps. So, and the more number of safety cars, the more life they still have in the tyres. So they don't really have to worry about track position or fighting for position. The likes of Harry Rocks and Mountain.
One very weird decision that I am looking at is by Rebel. He's on 10 lap old medium tires and he still hasn't pitted. He's under safety car conditions. I really don't understand why he hasn't gone for that decision.
He is playing the realism game, my friend. I think he is aware of how many safety cars there can be in this
High
game.
IQ move there. Maybe one more safety car in the
I
making.
can confirm it to you that the game does not let you have more than 3 safety cars. So, yeah, I have heard I've heard about that from Masu. So I think yeah, we have a limit of 3 safety cars. So I do believe that if there's any other incidents that take place after this, we might have virtual safety car, but not a safety car like full course safety car.
I can actually confirm on that because we telemetry people, me and Masum, we know more about the game than probably anyone does.
It wasn't it 4 safety cars for 50% and 3 safety cars for 25%.
I think it was 2 and 3.
Okay.
But we will probably get greeted with the answer really soon. Maybe not. Let's see.
Well, all I want to say is, and this is something we don't, or at least I don't normally say, is thank you, Codemasters. I don't mean to undermine the skill of any driver here, but any more safety cars here would not have been in the spirit of any sort of racing or any sort of serious racing. And as I say that, there's more collisions on the safety car. People just not able to maintain gaps, keep out of trouble under safety car collisions. There's not been any period of more than 10 seconds that we haven't had any safety car collision penalties dished out by the game. Rather unfortunate.
Looks like Codis is very happy dishing out those penalties.
So safety car is in the lap now and we are full throttle. Rebel gets a good exit. Mountain loses a bit to Harry Rocks on turn 1. Goes a little wide, I believe, but Rebel got a really good start there.
Yeah, Rebel on those medium tyres. He hasn't hit it yet, but he's got washing powder just under a second. Washing powder again plays very well on those harder tyres, just as Harry Rocks and Mountain are. The 3 guys who might well just finish off the race without having to pit above and running wide again in the same section of the kink of turn 5. Charlotte really struggling there. Not sure why. He's on a fresh pair of mediums, only 5 laps old. Not as fresh, but he certainly must have some temperature compared to Weapons harder tyres at the restart.
Looking very feisty behind Vinay. We'll have to see these guys who started up there, right? Altair, Vortex, Dawn, and Abhi 17. how will they make up their places? Yeah, Vinay goes wide there. Gives the place Altair no problem overtaking Vinay on that occasion. There's a collision between Abarpan and Chalaklak, but Abarpan makes his way past Chalaklak. Although Chalaklak is on medium set of tires, and I'm not sure what's going wrong with Chalaklak there. He has a damage on front right. So
Yeah, I think
there was a Renault mountain spun out in the last corner as well. Just to say, if you guys missed it, so now he has fallen down the order.
Yeah, not looking too good. People getting penalties left, right, and center. Like, what's going on here? We'll have to wait till the end of the race when all the penalties get accumulated, and we'll have to see the top 10 finishing rate, because I'm pretty sure that the on-track finish is not going to be the same as when you calculate the penalties and consider that.
Yeah, we cannot stop for penalties. We keep seeing that red message flashing on the top of the screens there with penalties. Just seems unstoppable. I've got to say, Vortex, I've noticed, he's back up the field. I think he's done well staying out of trouble on that safety car restart.
Yep, the major gainers on the safety car restart have been Abapan, Captain Cheesecake, and Vortex. Each have made around 4 positions each.
Yeah, the guys in P1 to P4, I think, thankfully at least staying out of trouble. We get to see some bit of clean racing.
What's purple first sector and a green second sector, so he is pushing really hard and to catch these guys, Abapan and Harry Rocks. He is on mediums while Abapan is on hard. So what do you think, which tire will go till the end now from here?
Yeah,
there will be a point where mediums will start degrading a lot.
Faizan making a dive bomb and a half on Dawn 29, absolutely taking him at the last sector. Fortunate for him, but yeah, Faizan moving off the field slowly.
Coming to Altair, Gryphus, you mentioned him being on the mediums. I mean, he's pretty much in the same position as Rebel is. Rebel has managed to pull away some gap. He's out of DRS range from the guys on the harder tyres, but I think Altair is trying to get himself into a similar position. He's under attack from Captain Cheesecake, who's also on slightly fresher medium tyres. I'm not sure if he's planning to go all the way from there. He does spend a lot of time fighting and running out of tyres. He will certainly have to pit. But the guys on hards, we think, certainly can pull off ending on the same tyre.
Battle like for P4 between Abapan, Altair, Captain Cheesecake and Abhi 17, and in a while we'll see Vortex also joining the pack there. If Abapan is able to hold these guys, because all of them mostly are on mediums apart from Abhi 17. Altair, even Vortex is on hard, so we'll have to see how it pans out for the people for the drivers on medium tires, because it's lap 14 now and they have to take it like around 15 laps more. So I'm not sure if mediums will take you that way, because they're already on 4 lap old. I believe that's 4 lap old medium tires.
Well, talking about life of medium tyres, you've got to take notice of Rebel up front. He's still maintaining that gap, so he certainly has that pace to Washing Powder and Harry Rocks, but I think the life of medium tyres is around about 15 to 16 laps. I wouldn't be surprised over the next couple of laps if Rebel decides to pit. It will be interesting to see where he comes out. He might come out in a lot of traffic, seeing how bunched up the field is at the moment and how feisty everybody is.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can think, being in Rebel's position, that we have Washing Powder, Harry Rocks, Abarpan, all of these guys stopping the front runners from getting those positions. Like Abarpan is already holding up Altair, Captain Cheesecake so well, and Rebel that is actually helping Rebel right now, because when he actually makes the pit stop, these guys might be further back on the grid than they would be overtaking Abarpan really soon.
You say that, Gryphus, but that would be helping him if he was creating a gap with these guys. But he seems to be just over a second. He's thankfully out of BR's range on these guys on P2 to P4. But he doesn't seem to be pulling any gap. So, as I said, if he does pit, he's going to come out in a lot of traffic. I'm not sure how much he can gain from there. Abarpan running wide slightly there. Altair with a fresher set of tyres. Going to have the inside line. Abarpan just shuts the door at the very last moment and shuns Altair into the wall. It's not something we like to see here.
expect that. Monk goes wide. Faizan takes the advantage of that. Faizan now on 5 lap old medium tires. Not sure if he can take these to the end, but for now he can catch up to War Vortex because he's on hards. Captain Cheesecake now trying to dive down inside of Abarpan, takes the inside line. Abarpan will get the outside line, but he loses out. That was a very, very aggressive move, but I think that was a legal and clean one, I believe.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that one, I think. Captain Cheesecake taking the inside line into turn 3, again, one of the locations where you can make a move to overtake, and he does have the quicker tyre. A lot of life in that tyre, so I wouldn't be surprised if he stays aggressive and makes up as much time as possible, because he needs to clear all these guys in the hard tyre. He's probably aware that these guys are going to go right to the end of the race. There's only 13 more laps left, so he has to make up time.
So watching Captain Cheesecake now quickly gaining to Harry Rocks right ahead. It's going to be very interesting to see if if Captain Cheesecake can make it till the end on these tires, because he's pushing really hard and that will affect his tire wear even more. When you're on medium tires, you can conserve them, but if you're not pushing, that's when. But right now he is looking very feisty behind him. We can see in past laps he has gained a lot. Right at the back of Harry Rocks, maybe Harry Rocks is getting backed off by washing powder here. All this might just help Rebel to make a little slight amount of gap, but right now the gap is around what? It's the same, right? Like what it was.
Yeah, just over a second. I'm not surprised with Captain Cheesecake being as aggressive as he is. He knows he's got life in the tires. There's no point staying behind them. He shunts Harry Rocks at the back, probably being a little bit too greedy. But it just shows that he's aware that he needs to extend his advantage whilst he's on the quicker tyre as much as possible.
Yeah, and now it's a Ferrari 4 and 5. Do you think there will be any team orders between the Ferraris here? Because both of them are on the same strategy. So I'm not really sure what they would plan, like if there will be any team orders.
Yeah, they will be sitting in the same VC, I suspect, thinking about what to do. But given how this race has played out so far, I think they will be as undecisive and in the dark as we are about where things might head.
17 is on 4 lap younger tires than Harry Rocks. So if AB17 is able to close the gap really quick, because Vortex is looking really fast behind him. He might just catch up to AB17 in no time now. So that will be really interesting.
Yeah, Vortex on similar tyre life to Abi, just 1 lap over the tyres. I would be surprised if the Ferraris do switch positions to give Abi some room to Vortex.
Captain Cheesecake comes down into the pits. Yeah, we did expect that, and Ferrari switch over taking place right in front of us. I do think that was a team order, but we never know if Abi had outright pace to do that.
Yeah, it didn't look like Harry Rocks had to lift off, slow down in any way. We had the DRS on him, so fair enough.
Captain Cheesecake comes out around P13, is it? On the soft tires. Vortex had also come down into pits on medium tires, so...
Yeah, that's an interesting call from Captain Cheesecake on the softs. We know he's been very aggressive so far. Given the fact that he's jumped onto the softs, I wouldn't be surprised if he continues his form to be aggressive or as aggressive as he has been. Soft tires, we don't expect them to last more than around about 9 or 10 laps.
There's been a huge gaggle of cars at turn 8, I believe. Faizan had a bunch of oversteer coming out of the corner and he basically T-boned Abarpan, and Monk just was a bystander, took advantage and overtook the pair of them.
Yeah, Monk coming up into P5 pretty much out of nowhere. Something very eventful for him. So Hyundai, I think, retired, and that's brought out the virtual safety car. We saw his car. I think he lost out at the exit of the turn 11-12 chicane, shunting into the wall. There is a VSC.
Unfortunately, the top two have just already crossed the pit entry, and so they won't be able to take advantage of this. Unfortunately,
just right where the race started, right? Because it will give advantage to all those front runners who had pit just now for the faster compound of medium and soft tires, especially Captain Cheesecake, Vortex, and maybe Charles Leclerc even. Those who have pitted just recently. So all these front runners might dive down in the pits. If they don't, then they will, like, their tires will get hot, like, by the end of the race.
Yeah, I'm just being sent a message from Maranello Baby, who's a Renault Tier 1 driver. By the sounds of it, he's been coaching the Renault drivers so far. We'll try and see if we can pull him into the commentary box to get some insight into what the Renaults have in plan. I think they're running P6 and P7, both on similar lap or similar life-old hard tyres, hoping to get to the end.
So I'll just drag Maranello Baby with us while virtual safety car comes to an end. We'll have a chat with him. So we have Maranello Baby, Tier 1 Renault driver, with us in the commentary box. He has been coaching the Tier 2 drivers, of Dawn and Mountain on their strategies and everything. So Maranello Baby, how is the race going so far for your team?
Hey guys, it's been a little torrid. I don't know if you caught it, but about 5 laps or 6 laps ago, Mountain had a spin. So he's now recovering. He's already back up to P6, which is as a result of pit stops. But it's going to be a very interesting race. I think the P1 Racing Point will definitely have to pit, but will be strong towards the end of the race. I think there we go. He's pitted right now. Apologies for any background noise. But yeah, the two boys are driving strong. Nothing else to say. Let's hope that their hearts should be able to go to the end, no problem.
Well, luckily for Renault, a bunch of the fun runners have just been handed a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. Again, very strict rules in terms of infringements on the safety car and VSC in this game.
Yeah,
Certainly. It is a little strict, but at the same time, it's quite fair for everyone. So kudos to the boys for keeping it clean. Right now, there's a very high chance for a podium, because I'm not sure if Nirma's tires will last to the end. 25 laps is 26 laps on those hards. I think he'll be losing seconds in the last few laps. So let's hope we can get ahead of at least one of the Ferrari or the. Oh, and there we go. Get ahead of one of the.
P4 and go ahead, Camaro.
So I would say a double podium could be possible if you're lucky, but at least one of the boys should get a podium.
For sure.
Guys in Renault, Vortex is having a bit of a spin coming up to the penalty corner. Guys in Renault currently P3 and P4. They're about 14 seconds behind. Mara's just left. I was about to ask him a question, but probably the call of the team is more important, of course. What I was going to try and ask, I will ask a couple like this, both of you. We've got about 14 seconds. Mountain is just in P2 right now as Vortex pits after his spin and a bit of a contact with the wall. Do you guys think he can make up 14 seconds over the next 8 laps?
Unlikely in my eyes, but anything could happen. There's still a lot of fighting going on in the midfield, so that could probably help. But let's see, I'm not too optimistic on this situation.
Well, you've got Captain Cheesecake, who's done pretty well. I think he had a bit of contact not too long ago, losing a bit of his front wing, but he's still looking to charge up the field. He's made his way up to P5. Obviously, also helps with a few of the guys have damage and they pit ahead of you. Harry Rocks once again just being overtaken. He's on 15 lap old hardened tyres. Fivezan is on a fresh set of softs, just as Captain Cheesecake is. So Fivezan and Cheesecake, the two guys who might, towards the end of the race, within the next 5 or 6 laps, might give some trouble to the guys running in P3, P4.
Having said that, Mountain's just pitted and Don's still hanging out there. He might not go to the end either, looking at the state of affairs. It's unfortunate for the Renault boys, looking promising until then.
Mountain comes in at P9, 11 points. Down in podium places now. We'll have to see how it goes. Captain Cheesecake left the session. Maybe a network issue from his end. That would be really unfortunate if he loses out on his positions while he joins back. Harry Rocks down to P7. I think Faizan and Rebel both have overtaken him. Even Robertpan will look spicy because he's on 3-lap old medium tires now. Will be trying to make a move. As we see, Captain Cheesecake is disconnected, and Faizan will be looking forward to make a move on him just to continue this charge. Faizan is in a really good position to get the podiums, but by the end of the race, it all comes down to the penalties, right?
Yeah, I was going to say Faizan in an extremely old position. He's had quite an eventful race, starting from the last, going up way up the order, making up pole positions, as we mentioned earlier on, losing all those positions after having contact on the safety car, coming up on switching over to the softer tyre, is now making that final charge towards the end of the race. Captain Cheesecake thankfully has joined the session back. He has lost out to Faizan, who has gone past him, but he can still make up a couple of positions, Captain Cheesecake, if the guys are...
No! His AI is taking control and he's pitting!
Yeah, he did have a bit of damage on his tyres. That's how you can sort of be punished in this game if you have connection issues.
I think BlackSheep, you've been in a place where you left the session and your AI just took your car into the pits, and then you came back and then you realized that okay, I'm in the pits now.
A slight late update, but Mountain actually did not bid for a tire. He had a drive-through for speeding under PSC, so he just served his drive-through penalty.
We did notice that as we were speaking with Adil, the Renault, Renault guide.
So, Marinello, can you give any updates regarding the team status, because Dawn is in P3 now?
Yeah. So you can call me the race engineer, but I didn't. The moment I said that they were keeping it clean, got a speeding under a safety car, a VSC event. So that certainly is an optimal. He was sitting pretty for a podium, but now I'm guessing Dawn will be overtaken by Faizan soon. It'll come down to penalties maybe, but Faizan is on those fresh soft tires, so it's not going to be a battle.
Well, given that you are speaking with both of your drivers, where have they been saying they are placed in terms of penalties?
They don't know. There's just been, even for me, there have been way too many penalties to keep track of. I think for the next race I'll sit down with pen and paper. But yeah, it's as expected around Australia. In fact, why don't you go around the cars a bit? I think we can show all the spectators the penalties that each driver has. Burpan looks like he's got only 3 seconds, so we can expect him to move up the orders.
Yeah, he has just made a move on Harry Rocks on the fresh set of medium tyres. I'm really excited about Faizan and Rebel. Rebel's, I think, has done a fantastic job. We saw him coming out into traffic when he got off those medium tyres that he had nursed from the beginning of the race. He's now on 4-lap all soft tyres that we know can certainly go to the end of the race. It'll be interesting to see if both Faizan and Rebel can go past the two guys, Abi 17 and Dawn 29 on the hard tyres. Again, props to Washing Powder.
Yeah, exactly. And he's 13 seconds off Abi 17 right now. So even with fresh softs on Faizan, we just have 5 laps to go in this race. Do you think 13 seconds plus? I think it's more like 13 plus 4. So that's like around 18 seconds that Faizan has to cover if he is planning to win the race. So I mean, hats off to Washing Powder, because I'm pretty sure the hards can go way deep into the race, right? Even not getting a puncture, it's like it's easier, like take those tires ahead. Can you see the tire status on Washing Powder's car? They are... Yeah, the BlackSheep, you're saying something.
No, I was just remarking, Washing Powder, that would have been if he takes the tyres to the end of the race, that would be about 26 laps that he takes those tyres. I mean, that's extremely commendable. Vinay, I think, as we were just talking about, the guys up front, has had a retirement.
That's another visual safety car.
Yeah, I think that's what's caused the VSC.
This is all in favor of the guys still on the hard tires. Just help them preserve those tires a little longer. That could make the difference in the end.
Yeah, Washing Powder, Abi 17. Harry Rocks was another one of those guys, including Dawn, who was on the harder tyres for quite some time. But he seems to have fallen off the pace slightly. He's running down P7 after being overtaken by guys on the fresher set of tyres.
Just as we were speaking about Rebel, some bad news. He got a drive-through for speeding under BSC.
All right. Not a surprise to me because there's a lot of drivers who are getting penalties right now. You know, you can see the graphics coming in here and there, even speeding in pit lane where multiple people have crossed the pit lane more than 60 kilometers an hour. But yeah, I mean, Altair has also. All right, so we have 13 runners in the race now. Multiple retirements, but Dawn still holding up. Abarpan again made a move on Harry Rocks. Now he's behind Rebel. He'll be thinking to make a move there because Rebel is on faster tires. I'm still not sure why he's losing out so much.
Rebel, in any case, I think will have to serve his drive through penalty, so that will be him out of the equation, especially at the front. That will be a free stop for everybody that jumps in whilst he's serving that penalty, which I think might be pretty much everybody up until P13, the end of the field. But coming back with our focus onto the guys up front, especially with Dawn in the Renault, 4.5 seconds. Fivezan, he's been on those tyres for about 7 laps. I mean, the life of the soft tyres is round about 10 or 11 laps, especially with a lower fuel load. I think he's not able to pull up or bring down the gap as much now as he would have hoped to, or that he was bringing it down by at the beginning of the stint. He's certainly quicker compared to Dawn on the harder tyres, who's been on the harder tyres for 21 laps now. But I think, that's one thing we predicted quite early on when the second or third safety car was out, that the guys who jumped onto the hards, it was just about the right time that the hards could have stretched to the end of the race. And as we can see, they are making that come true.
The Rebel comes down into the pits. That will give advantage to Harry Rock, Shalak, even Vortex maybe. So that's disappointing for Rebel, right? Because he was having a really good race. He was leading before, like for first 2 safety cars, he was leading. But having that issue, speeding in pit is it's a big thing.
We've got Marinello Baby joining us once again. The driver is under huge pressure. Fivezan is closing that gap ever so slightly lap after lap, but there is only 2.5 laps to go. I'm not sure where we sit on the penalties, and I slightly fear checking the penalties out because that might just open up another probably about half an hour's of conversation just going over everybody's penalties. So I'm happy to leave it to the end of the race to see where everybody ends up. Perhaps a bit of a surprise for all of us, but very commendable to Washing Powder, RB70 and Dawn up front, just last, staying out of trouble. We are, as we said, we yet to see where people end up on the penalties, but Fivezan doing everything possible. Those tyres are probably losing all the life they had at the beginning. 8 laps old now. Not able to close in on Dawn as much as he would have liked to. In fact, he seems to now be under threat from the Barpan, who's on the medium tyres, 8 laps old as well. We got one more lap after this.
BlackSheep, a small info. I think you can see the penalties in the lap counter where it shows everyone's time, what they are doing, just above that.
So Abarpan 6 seconds of penalties.
Yes.
So can we go on Fivezan? So Fivezan has 9 seconds of penalties. So that is really good. Can we go to Dawn? I want to see how. So Dawn also has 6 seconds. So I think Fivezan is a bit of a disadvantage right now at this point. If Abarpan is able to close up to Fivezan, maybe Fivezan will be losing out on this run. Dawn might get the podium. Depends on how Abarpan performs or any other penalties incur.
Yeah, we may see Dawn fall down the order up into P5. I think Abarpan jumping Dawn as well as Fivezan. He's up 3 seconds on penalties. Can we also look at Washing Powder and RB17?
So RB17 has 6 seconds of penalties. That is safe, I believe, because Dawn is anyway 5 seconds back. So and Dawn himself has penalties. So that is safe. And Washing Powder also has. Is that okay? So Washing Powder also has 6 second penalties. So
yeah, so I think top 4 with 6 seconds of penalties, with Abarpan only having 3 seconds of penalties. So we can see Abarpan probably ending up P3 with Washing Powder and Abhi holding position. With Dawn
guys, we're coming to the last lap of the race now. do drop down your driver of the day in the comments. We will, we will bring the driver of the day to the, to the interviews as well. So drop down your driver of the day. Since we are at the last lap. Another penalty for Bonding.
Yeah, we've had Thermophobe retiring from the race as well. Couldn't really catch exactly what happened there. But given the
He
number of
has
retirements-
retired after the kick. Just saw the other one pass through his retired car there.
The same turn 5 kink, catches drivers off guard ever so often. We're ending up with 12 drivers in this race. Not very different from the first actual Formula 1 race we had this year. A lot of people in the chat commenting that this is how first races of the seasons usually are.
Last lap now, Mabarpan making sure he would be aware. But Washing Powder coming to the last corner now. What a victory for Washing Powder, Nirma.
Amazing drive by him. He made those tyres last, crossing the line. He'll have 6 seconds of penalties, but I don't think he has to worry about it. He's got the gap on RB17 coming P2. I think he jumped him. I think he may have got another couple of penalties towards the end.
Abarpan and Faizan went side by side onto the finish line.
Abarpan finishes P4, Faizan finishes P5. Washing Powder is not the winner, it is RB17 who wins the first race of the season.
Yeah, Don also holding position back, so I'm not really sure what happened to Abarpan at the end. He must have picked up another penalty for Don in the Renner to thankfully still have a P3.
What a finish do we have at the hands. This is what happens when multiple people have penalties. It all comes down to how many penalties they've accumulated in the duration of the race. But you have to say, Washing Powder, what a race to make those tires stick till the end of the race. Harry Rocks comes down to P8, so it's a Ferrari 1 and 8. Mountain finishes P9 and Rebel completes the top 10 of the grid. Monk and Captain Cheesecake, it's really unfortunate for Captain Cheesecake because he was right up there with Faizan.
Yeah, he was right up in the mix. Sadly got a drive-through penalty, falling down the order, actually finishing out of the points. Harry Rocks, I think a good first race for him. He stayed out of trouble. I think that's the thing that he was focusing on. He lost a few positions, but he stayed out of trouble. This would be a good beginning for his season and a good experience for him. We've been asking for your driver of the day in the chat. We've had a couple of responses so far, but don't shy away from penning down more names for us.
Yeah. So we'll have podium interviews now with RB17. We'll have Washing Powder Nirma and wait, I'll just get them to the VC now, and Dawn 26. So Dawn 29. Sorry. So we'll have the podium finishers now. Regarding the driver of the day, I think most of the people have voted for Washing Powder Nirma in the chat. So yeah, we'll have him here.
Yeah, let's track them down here. Whilst we are being joined by those 4, here's your finishing order. A lot of penalties, as you can see. We've had a lot of action, a lot of retirements. But RB17 taking P1, followed by Washing Powder and Dawn. Great job by these guys making those hard tires last that distance. Abarpan just not able to capitalize on the softer tires on his charge at the end. Captain Cheesecake out of the points, sadly, with that drive-through penalty. But a measured race from Harry Rocks and Monk as well, I have to say.
The fact that you just see the fact that top 3 finishers have started P10, P14 and P13 on the grid, so that's the race you want to see, right?
Yeah, same goes for Faizan, I think. He did do a 2-stop, I think, 2 or 3-stop, but actually no, he did a 4-stop, as I noticed. But yeah, he did a charge and a half towards the end.
Yep. So we have the podium finishers with us here. The race winner RB17, Washing Powder Nirma, coming P2 and Dawn 29. What a race by these guys. We'll start with RB17. What a race. Give us more insight about what you felt, what you're thinking. Did you know that you're gonna get, because on track Washing Powder was ahead of you, but did you know about the penalty situation?
Hello guys. I didn't know I was gonna finish first actually, because even he had penalties. I thought we were equal on penalties actually, so I thought I'll end up P2 or even P3 actually. But yeah, somehow finished P1. Was how many safety cars were there? Like 3 4.
Yep, we had 3
Oh my
safety
God.
cars in the race, so but an
Oh my
amazing
God.
strategy.
Yeah, I mean, strategies. You have to give this. You have to give all credits to Masoom. He's been an amazing race engineer. He's told me everything to do, and now I'm here. So
Oh,
all
we do
credits to him.
have,
Yeah, I
yeah.
did have an amazing race engineer.
That's really amazing to see all the tier 1
Yeah,
drivers being mentored to tier 2 drivers while they are racing, being the race engineers, telling the strats, giving them tips
absolutely.
how
Yeah.
to make it work. Talking about P2 finish, we have Washington and Nirma. How did you manage to make those tires work for that long? We want to know.
To be honest, it's just been consistent practice with my teammate Shalaler or Madhav. We've just been practicing different strategies and seeing how it would work against different levels of AI. So you don't, I mean, people say we can't practice with AI, but we've practiced strategies again and again. That's the only thing we practiced. And somehow, I was going to go with mediums to hards, but the safety car situation, which damaged my front wing, I had to pit in for hards. And Madhav and me were having a consistent back and forth of whether I should pit in different safety car scenarios. But he convinced me to just stay on the hards, and he just kept calming me down. Even though he was having his own battles to fight, he was just telling me to calm down, stay focused, and bring it home.
Anything to that, or ask? We'll go head over to Don.
Hello everyone. So I
Don,
didn't.
what a race! We had Maranello Baby in the VC during in the duration of the race. He was giving some insights about what Renault guys are planning upon. I think you look very, very vulnerable to Faizan catching up so strong. In the last couple of in the last part of the race. So, what are your thoughts? Like, what an amazing podium there.
So it was like an amazing race. Like I couldn't put a good qualifying lap. I started P13, and then there were like three safety cars and two VSCs. I guess two VSCs. My teammate Mountain I think had a much better race pace than me, but he unluckily got a drive-through penalty, so I had to take the mantle from there. And I would like to thank Maran Elopan. He gave us some good strategies. He became our race engineer, like guide us through the process. And
Again, we do have people who are coming that, and yeah. So as I was saying that, right, Renault and these guys who are like tier 1 drivers are coming to tier 2, giving the strats, calling it out, being in the same voice channels, and helping them out a bit with the strategies and what's the right thing to do and what not. Don, again, like what a race finish. That was an amazing job there. So from the chats, I have seen that. Yep. So our driver of the day is Washington Nirma here. Because on the chat I can see many people who have voted for Washington. Washington, what would you like to say about getting the driver of the day for today?
To be honest, it's I still don't believe that I still got P2. It's still it's like overwhelming. I need to watch the replay to see what happened exactly and how I got P2, because I was sure I'm going to be the midfielder or I was going to be a back marker in tier 2, but first lap collision, and I think after the first lap collision I just knew it's going to be a point finish. For getting driver of the day and P2, amazing. It's unbelievable. Thank you guys.
Well, I think multiple safety cars and all these strategies playing out. I think you guys made the right calls to be out there because all of you started out of top 10 places. We'll wrap up the interviews just by having the last word from Abhi 17. What do you look forward going into Bahrain now? So what are your thoughts about that, Abhi?
Better strategies. Gonna continue. I mean, not better strategies. Consistent strategies, consistent racing, and keep finishing in top 10, top 5, and then in the end, everything should be adding up and should be getting a good results at the end of the championship, though. So,
Yep, an amazing finish for the top 3. Congratulations to the podium finishers here. I think BlackSheep came back, so can you, BlackSheep, can you have any final closing words?
No, fantastic from all of you here. I just wanted to say to Washing Powder, upon being driver of the day and finishing P2, I'm really gutted that you didn't say that I took everybody to the cleaners.
Yeah, I mean, ever since I got my new wheel, people have been telling me that I'm going to wreck out some people, and I was scared to myself because I knew how dirty I was with the controller, so I was expecting to be more dirtier on the wheel, but I managed to be pretty clean. So I'm looking forward to the entire season and see how much do I improve on the wheel.
Well, in any case, well done, guys. We look forward to the next race. Well done again, and thank you for everybody tuning in to the first race. And we look forward to joining you again at Bahrain next week, next Sunday.
Yep. So follow us on social media. Follow us on Instagram, where we do give updates. Now we have seen coming like even team Instagram handles coming up lately for Williams, Mercedes, and even Haas, I believe. So follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Reddit. Join our subreddit. And we have a tier 1 race. Before that, today we had the Spanish Grand Prix. So for that, we'll have a paddock quiz. We'll just go through review the race which happened just today. So we'll have that live tomorrow at 8 p.m. Do tune in for that. Apart from that, yeah, I think that would be it. So that would be the closing words. Thank you, BlackSheep. Thank you, Dipanshu, for streaming this, and Kapil for being in the commentary box with me.